Welcome to Porto. For the next 2 days we are exploring a city built for wandering and packed with more surprises than you expect. It stretches along the Douro River with colorful streets, steep hills and a history tucked in corners you only notice when you slow down. From centuries-old architecture to a sweet fortified wine that made it famous. Stay with us and by the end you'll know exactly why the small city leaves such a big mark on the people who visit it.
And we are starting our exploration of Porto here at the edges of the city at the Douro River. 2000 years ago, the Romans actually recognized this as an important tool to connect the Iberian Peninsula with the Atlantic. And so they co-opted the previous Greek settlement and built it up into a trading post.
The Douro River begins deep in Spain and runs for almost 900 kilometers in total. But here's the twist, it's only navigable once it crosses into Portugal.
And since the river was so treacherous, the locals actually developed a specific boat to transport the goods down the river, the Rabello boat.
These boats once carried barrels all the way down from vineyards to the city. We'll get to taste the wine soon, but first let's follow the river to the place where Porto comes alive. We've made it to the Ribeira Quarter, Porto's historic heart and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Colorful facades, narrow alleys twisting up a hill and a rhythm of life along the river. It's one of those places that slows you down without even trying. Ribeira isn't just the quay itself though, it's a maze of steep, narrow alleys climbing the hillside. Let's wander a few of them. I still need to earn my cardio today anyway.
So while walking through Porto, the first thing you might notice that it can be actually quite hilly, but the second thing is actually that a lot of the houses have beautiful tile decorations. And these things actually have a huge history of like 500 years. Now they are actually called azulejos and are of Arabic origin. And you can find them everywhere, on just normal houses, churches, restaurants, you name it. So let's go and find some of the best ones.
First stop, the Chapel of Souls. 16,000 tiles, one giant blue storybook. The panels show scenes from lives of Saint Francis of Assisi and Saint Catherine, complete with drama, death and martyrdom. Fun fact, these tiles became hugely popular because of horror vacui, the fear of empty spaces. Blank walls were apparently terrifying, so people plastered them with tiles instead. Honestly, seems like a pretty stylish solution. A short walk away is the Church of Saint Ildefonso, sporting another 11,000 tiles that tell, well, the story of Saint Ildefonso. What else would you expect? And finally we come to São Bento station. Step inside and you're surrounded by more than 20,000 tiles, wrapping the walls like a graphic novel. Battles, coronations and slices of everyday life.
After a search for the colorful tiles, we are super hungry and it's actually already midday. So we are here at this food court and I don't know, I'm craving for some sausage, ham, steak, egg combo wrapped in the bread. Let's get inside and see if they have something like that.
Of course, I'm talking about a Francesinha. Porto's most iconic dish and probably the most over-the-top sandwich ever created. It's the city take on the French croque monsieur, dreamed up here in the 1950s. For these days you can spot it just about anywhere in Portugal.
Oh, turns out you're not allowed to film there. We've been asked to stop filming, but I was lucky and we actually got a Francesinha to go. So yeah, let's unpack and eat this bad boy. At the top we have the all-important sauce, beer and tomatoes, but I think I wanna try out the raw experience first. Let's see what we have here. Ta-da! Ooh, the egg. Look at the egg. How it's bubbling. Let's go. I have a little bit of cheese, egg, and bread, and a little bit piece of the steak. It's pretty much tastes how it looks like, to be honest. But I have to admit, it's pretty dry. So let's get out the sauce and smother this bad boy. Much better.
Back in the Ribeira side, we look across the Douro, and surprise! It's a whole other city, Vila Nova de Gaia. Gaia feels so connected to Porto's story that it's easy to forget it's a separate place. In fact, this is where the city's world-renowned port wine was aged and shipped across the globe. But we'll get to that once we cross over. To do that, we're taking the Dom Luís I Bridge. And the views up here are unreal. The city unfolds beneath you, the terracotta rooftops, the winding river, and that golden light that somehow always hits just right.
And so we are here in the Vila Nova de Gaia, the heart of a port wine export. English, Scottish and Portuguese merchants established wine cellars here to age and ship the wine. The southern riverbank of the Douro River was just much more suitable to build the warehouses and docks. You see, port wines needed to be aged for 2 or more years after they've been brought down on the Douro River.
Port wine comes from the Douro Valley, a few hours inland from here, one of the oldest wine regions on earth, with vineyards that go all the way back to Roman times. So yeah, they've had some practice. In the 17th century, the English started drinking Portuguese wine like crazy. Ongoing conflicts with France made no French wine, so Portugal happily filled the gap. Long sea trips forced winemakers to add a splash of grape spirit, and just like that, port wine was born. Sweeter, stronger, and built to last. Our 2 days in Porto come to an end, and it's hard not to feel a little attached. Between the river views, the steep climbs, and a few too many glasses of port, the city gets under your skin. It's not the biggest place, but it's got a character all its own. And that's what makes it worth remembering.